Obamagate. The Spygate, Obamagate, they're almost one and the same, not entirely. But let me have Steve Crowder explain it. He's really good with this.
Every single new development because it gets at play. That being said, go. So let's just give you what you need to know so you understand the corruption at play. That being said, you don't need to always know every single new development because it gets to the...
And just so you know, Cindy, hey, nice to see you. Thanks for commenting. If you guys want, I'm live streaming and watching this right now on Facebook. So comment anything, any questions, and I'll interact with you down here if you want.
Point where you're so granular, it's hard to understand the scope of it. Here's the scope of it. An outgoing administration spied and used the FBI as a political arm to try and get a man in jail.
Which should scare the hell out of most everybody.
It should scare the hell out of most everybody. Let me give you a little more info now. The Justice Department, so they obviously, they dropped the charges against Michael Flynn, and now the attention is turned to how Barack Obama, the outgoing administration, how they sort of unfairly, or some people allege illegally targeted Trump's administration. So, of course, you have people on the left in the media, basically everyone outside of here and some radio shows, reporting on this. The whole thing, like I said, the whole umbrella, which is a real disservice to Americans as a conspiracy theory.
It's so disappointing to look at what we're seeing from right-wing media these days, where there's such an obsession
He's so bad
with
they have
the
to put
deep
other
state
news people
and
behind
these
him.
revelations about the Russia probe.
Trust us, there's more real people. Keep watching, please.
They're treating the Michael Flynn story like it's a bigger
Don't you
deal
wish
than
you
the
were
deaths
watching
of
Poppy
2,000
Harlow right now?
When the president called on Fox and Friends the other morning, Friday morning, right before the unemployment rate numbers came out, he talked about the Flynn case for 20 minutes.
Those happy days are here again with a brand new conspiracy that Trump and Fox News are calling Obamagate.
Some terrible things happened, and it should never be allowed to happen in our country again. And you'll be seeing what's going on over the coming weeks. But I wish you'd write honestly about it, but unfortunately, you choose not to do so.
We'll see what happens. You'll see what it is. It's coming out in the next few weeks. You know what it is.
Hey, time out right here. This is Mika from Morning Joe. Have you seen what the president is tweeting right now about Mika and Joe Scarborough? So these two hate him. They are on him all the time. It's an open secret. Joe Scarborough, if you didn't know, it was right around the year 2000, 2001, right in there. Joe was a U.S. House of Representatives from Florida. He had this young, pretty secretary or legislative assistant who was found dead under his desk with blunt force trauma to the head. The cold case shut, no leads, no suspects, no foul play. She tripped, she fell, she hit her head, she died. You guys, I'm telling you, watch this. Trump knows something. He knows something. He is tweeting, go to his Twitter today. He is tweeting some paragraphs about Joe Scarborough and really putting him on blast for the whole nation to see. Don't be surprised if that case gets reopened.
I don't. Can you tell us?
I can't, actually. Obamagate is a phrase that
I don't know what you're talking about.
Seems to have no meaning except to tag his predecessor with some very nebulous scandal.
So let's go through this. Since they're so puzzled, let's kind of lay out the timeline. The Obama-era FBI, right? They were out to get Flynn from the beginning. Yep. They listened to his phone calls while he was on vacation, which would later be used in really what amounts to a perjury trap. The goal was getting Flynn to be fired or to be imprisoned. So Bill Priestap, who's a doctor, boss is stroke.
Yeah.
I was
about to say, how do you pronounce his name?
Stryzik. I don't know. That's why I don't trust him.
If anybody's a Russian agent, it's him.
The notes read, "What is our goal? Truth/admission to get him to lie so we can prosecute or get him fired?" ? Now I understand that's been shared out of context and they've tried to counter-argue that. So let's go on down the list. The FBI, they were moving to close the investigation early 2017 because they didn't find anything. And then Pete Strzok interviewed some people. And then he intervened actually to make sure the operation continued with the FBI. So they were going, there's nothing here, we're going to close it. Then he personally stepped in and said, no, we're going to make sure that we find something. So really, what did it amount to? That's kind of hopefully, people understand that timeline?
Basically
tapping calls, what they were doing with Flynn, and it amounted to what? Okay, 2 lies. That he didn't actually ask the Russian ambassador to refrain, to not respond to sanctions that were being imposed by Barack Obama. And then he said that he only asked how Russia would vote on a resolution that involved Israel, but apparently he actually asked them to vote against or delay the resolution.
Very important in Spygate, Obamagate. You do not find a suspect. You don't just open a case and look for a crime. You see a crime and then you try to find who committed the crime. This entire Obamagate was they found Trump. They did full carte blanche U.S. intelligence, let him have it all, and let's find a crime. That is completely reverse. It is completely in the face of everything that Western culture, our entire judicial system has set up since the British and the French tried hashing this out. I'm no judge, I'm no lawyer, but it's damn near treason.
Solution, which, by the way, is not entirely outside the realm of his job. Let's keep going down the list. This is so boring. I'm sorry. Agents didn't even think that COVID, if you think, well, you think maybe Flynn was lying.
Right.
Agents didn't think Flynn was lying.
Nope.
In 2017, Comey testified, the interviewing agents, that Flynn had not made intentional misstatements, right? That they had concluded these guys testified. Comey, anytime he shows up, people just go, shit. And I used to feel bad for him because I thought he was hated by the left and he was hated by the right. But Comey, you've earned this.
Yeah, he screwed up in every way possible, I think.
Then Comey later denied this, but Washington Post even fact-checked him on it. Whatever it is. They do Pinocchio's or the Truth and Meters. Yeah, Washington Post. And they really didn't want to.
They're like, we have to do
that. Was really hard for them. Like, it's a lie, but can we hit it hurts, it burns. Flynn, by the way, people, and this was my primary question early on.
Big.
And I asked Donald Trump Jr. when we were doing the CNN stream, because at this point we didn't have all of the information.
Right.
I said, okay, if he is innocent, why did the guy plead guilty? And you know this probably, people don't always plead guilty because they're guilty.
Sure, absolutely. I mean, the entire system is set up to be an adversarial system.
Right.
So the prosecutors are literally, their job is to be aggressive in doing what they're doing to achieve the end, right?
Right.
And then by the same point, the defense attorneys have to do the same thing. And when you're, I don't do criminal law, but when you're, the same thing applies both civil and criminal. If you are trying to get to an end and there's going to be a worse harm than pleading guilty, people plead guilty all the time, even if they hadn't done that particular act that they're accused of, or maybe they did something, related but not as gross of a violation of that.
Like they did leave the ironing on and they don't want to pay the piper. Sure. So Flint, maybe they left the iron on,
but someone else was smoking in bed, right? I mean, you could be like, I did, but that wasn't actually what led, but fine.
Or eating in bed.
Say I did
and that's how they took out the mamas and the papas. It's a tragedy.
Oh my God.
Too soon and too heavy.
Not again.
So Flynn did plead. Would we say that's severe in that they threatened to go after Flynn's son? Because that's why he pled guilty.
Yeah,
so they wouldn't prosecute his son. Joe Biden, former Vice President Joe Biden, and early onset dementia example, has said repeatedly that he knew nothing about the Flynn investigation.
So what did you know about those moves to investigate Michael Flynn, and was there anything improper done?
I know nothing about those moves to investigate Michael Flynn, number one. Number two, this is all about diversion. I was aware that they asked for an investigation, but that's all I know about it, and I don't think anything else.
By the way, there's no follow-up. He just said, I don't think anything else.
Ever.
He's like, please end the interview. That's all I have to say.
I'm not capable.
I don't have anything.
His handler's like,
I thought this was going to be a one-question interview, and I would like to think something else, but I can't think anything else.
Okay, so I'm going to pause it there because they kind of just joke for the rest of the time. Basically,
my name is Ryan Derks. I'm running from Missouri's 5th Congressional District, and I approve this message.